Coming up in the morning edition, the labor minister to investigate the Bahamian to Chinese ratio at the point. We have an update on the hospital in Exuma, and it's all about celebrating Fox Hill Day. We are smack dab in the middle of the week with only 2 days left before the weekend. Welcome to the Morning Edition. I'm Jiminita Swain. Thanks for waking up with us. We here at the Morning Edition have a little secret, but we are not ready to let the cat out of the bag just yet. So instead of spilling the beans, we're going to turn things over to our sizzling weatherman, Basil Dean, who is standing by with the Bank of the Bahamas weather report. Good morning, Basil.
This weather report is sponsored by Bank of the Bahamas, the bank of solutions.
And good morning, Jiminita in the south. Our ZNS Tower Camp picking up some hazy conditions, and that's indicative of some showers in the distance. And as we go to our satellite picture, we still have that stubborn, persistent level troughing over the northwest Bahamas, and that will continue to fire pockets of showers and thunderstorms throughout the day. Outside of our studios, mostly cloudy, temperature at 82 degrees, relative humidity 78%, southerly winds at 6 miles per hour, the barometric pressure 1,015.0 millibars. That's 29.97 inches and falling. Temperatures around the islands this morning. Marsh, Abaco at 82 degrees, Green Toll Key 83, 83 in Freeport, Grand Bahama, picking up another 83 in the Berry Islands, Alistown, Bimini at 84, 83 in Harbour Island, Roxanne, Eleuthera, Otterstown, Cat Island, Staniel Key at 82 degrees, 82 also in Kemps Bay, South Andros, Fresh Creek at 84 degrees, 83 in San Salvador, and Rim Key as we take you into Ragged Island, 83 degrees, Clarencetown, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, Matthew, Nagua, and the Turks and Caicos Islands, all at 83 degrees. And your boating forecast for today, light and variable winds in the northwest Bahamas, flat seas once again 1 to 3 feet over the ocean, but those winds and seas will be locally higher near showers and thunderstorms. High tide takes place at 6:51 this morning, with your low tide taking place at 12:56 in the afternoon. And for the central and southeastern islands, winds will be out of the southeast at 10 to 15 knots, and the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. That's going to do it for your first look at weather, the morning edition. Stay tuned. Your forecast for today, tonight is still ahead.
Well, thanks, Basil. The Bahamas' first traffic report is ready. Our Kelsey Johnson and the Morning Edition traffic team are standing by.
The traffic report is sponsored by Bahamas First. First in insurance. Today, tomorrow.
Good morning, Jiminita. Good morning, Bahamas. I'm here on Robinson Road and East Street, not too far from the Super Value. Now, we can tell you that the northbound traffic on East Street, there is a little congestion. Not too much to talk about on the Robinson Road side with the traffic heading on in the western direction. But joining me this morning is Sergeant Jerron Thompson. He's always telling me that this particular junction is always congested, and he's always asking persons to drive with due caution and care, especially when it comes to these medians. Good morning, Sergeant Thompson.
Good morning to you. Good morning, Bahamas.
How is it that persons are supposed to drive, especially during when traffic lights are down and they're always sometimes running into the median?
Okay, with respect to the median, persons will notice persons will run into this median and knock down the traffic lights during the wee hours of the morning, where they take that chance to cross the red traffic light and they find themselves in crashes.
And we always saw this morning a number of buses stopping and not at the proper juncture or the proper site when it comes to bus stops.
Yes, if you notice at this location that we are at now, we have a sign here where it says no stopping for buses. And buses would normally stop at this location. We try to discourage that with reporting those drivers. And we need our public service drivers to drive with to gain attention and respect the rules and regulations of the road traffic act. We could cite you for stopping to a place other than a bus stop. And we don't want to take away from you, but you need to respect and obey the law.
But a number of the bus stops are literally in the road, so how are we as motorists are supposed to maneuver around those buses?
Where there are bus stops marked in the road, that is not a preference for the police. But where there are bus stops marked in the road, just exercise patience and exercise caution if you see the way is clear for you to go around that bus, for you to maneuver around the bus. So Just exercise patience as you traverse through our streets.
All right, thank you so much, Sergeant Thompson. Like I said, Jim Anita, traffic is kind of congested on the East Street side on the northbound lane. Back to you in the studio.
Well, thanks, Kelsey. We start now with news from labor. Although the heads of agreement signed between the Christie administration and the officials for the $200 million Point development stipulates a 70 to 30 Bahamian to Chinese employee ratio during the construction. Minister of Labor Senator the Honorable Leon Foulkes says the figures his ministry has and those from the Point do not align. Concerns have been raised in the past that the Chinese workers on the project continue to outnumber Bahamians. The Minister of Labor addressed the status of the project outside of Cabinet Tuesday and says it's something the ministry is monitoring.
The Point results conflict with our internal results. And both the Department of Labor and the management at the Point, we're trying to reconcile the two results. The Point tells us, depending on when you come, you could get a different percentage in terms of the Bahamian component of the employment. But we are analyzing that. We don't want to make a public statement in respect to that until we get the facts. We would like to honor all the previous agreements made by the previous government. Though the heads of agreement signed by the previous government had a 70-30 split. Our policy is to have an 80-20 split. 80% Bahamian, 20% non-Bahamian at a maximum.
Well, from the crime beat, police are investigating the country's latest homicide happening in the area of Amos Ferguson Street, that's off Palmetto Avenue, Coconut Grove, where a man reportedly died as a result of being shot and 2 others injured. According to reports on Tuesday, sometime around 6 p.m., a group of persons was sitting in a yard in the area when they were approached by 2 armed men who opened fire in their direction, injuring 3 men before fleeing the scene. Now, 1 man was pronounced dead on scene, while the other 2 were transported to hospital and are listed in stable condition. Now, police are appealing to members of the public who may have information that can assist with this investigation to contact the Central Detective Unit at 502-991 or to Crime Stoppers at 328-TIPS or the nearest police station. Investigations are ongoing. In other news, the president of the Bahamas Bar Association, Khalil Parker, says the number of stenographers needs to be increased in order to address the current shortage in the system. He highlighted some of the challenges attorneys face due to the shortage of stenographers.
Well, records are very important in the judicial process in terms of recording what actually happened, but more importantly, in most cases, for the appellate process to record what actually happened. We also understand that there are economic considerations in terms of hiring additional staff. But until we see substantive improvements outside of increasing the number, we have, as an association, to support the increase in the number of stenographers to deal with the situation we're facing right now. When you talk to them, they're overworked. As Bahamians like to say, they're underpaid. But we recognize that and we work with them in that. But we're losing a lot of time to waiting for stenographers, hearings being canceled because there are no stenographers.
Also, a recruitment exercise for qualified doctors and nurses was recently held. This, according to the Minister of Health, Dr. Dwayne Sands. It's all part of a process to facilitate the hospital and clinics in Exuma and Abaco. Even though the recruitment exercise was held, Sands says that only highly skilled and trained personnel will qualify. He noted that those persons who have applied and are now being trained and will be deployed to various clinics in the Family Islands.
The Prime Minister would have made a commitment while he was touring that we were going to bring the Abaco and Exuma facilities up to speed. And so we've been recruiting lab technicians, pharmacists, x-ray technicians in order to get that adequately staffed. We've also transferred a number of physicians into those community mini hospitals. And so while it won't happen overnight, certainly I think the public can expect more comprehensive services to be available at those mini hospitals in very short order. And we're actively recruiting additional personnel to populate those facilities.
Well, when we return, let's see how we celebrated Fox Hill Day. Stay close. Welcome back. The 31st annual Fox Hill Festival taking place Tuesday in the area of the Fox Hill Community Park, with organizers labeling the event a huge success. Our Lloyd Allen was there and reports that the festival was far from the usual, drawing in crowds from near and far to celebrate with residents on the tradition of pole climbing, watermelon and pineapple eating competitions, and so much more.
Dozens of residents coming out from far and wide to show support for this year's Fox Hill Day. The day-long event was packed with activities for the entire family, from food to competitions, music, and fun. Clinton Pierce, chairman of the Fox Hill Festival Committee, says the culminating night of the Fox Hill Festival was a smashing success. 13 days ago, organizers launched the festival but had no idea how many people would in fact attend the event. With dozens of food stands and activities packed into the final night, Pierce says he could not have hoped for a better outcome.
We had the climbing of the greasy pole, which is a typical signature event for the festival. That went well. We're leading now into the performance by the band. Earlier today, we started out the day by visiting 4 Baptist churches in the community, historic Baptist churches. Fox Hill Day is, of course, started as a special day in the Baptist churches to reward Sunday school students. And so it's called Party Day back in the day.
Member of Parliament for Fox Hill, Chanel Ferguson, says she is hoping for the day Fox Hill residents will experience a holiday on the day, while former Member of Parliament for the area, Fred Mitchell, highlighting the positive energy and excitement by residents and visitors during the traditional greasy pole competition.
So I'm hoping that business places will let Fox Hillians have this day off so they can come out here. They don't have to be sick. They don't need a sick day. But this is an all-day celebration. It's not after 5 o'clock. Today, for instance.
No other community does it, but I think there's a certain danger that people see of climbing this tall pole. And there's also an entertainment value. So for all those reasons, people are here and their eyes are upward. And of course, the prize money is $1,000.
Also at the festival was Vaughn Albury, who was having a great time with his family and celebrating as a Bahamian at that event.
Fox Hill represents freedom. Fox Hill represents an emancipation of the soul. We are the descendants. This my cousin here. Yes, we're the descendants of black people, and we come to celebrate our heritage. It's always good. We from town. We from town.
Yes, uptown.
This East Street people. But we come and share with Fox Hillians.
The rhythm band giving a special performance, a host of vendors giving visitors literally a taste of what Fox Hill represents. Stuffed conch, grilled corn, and virtually all the favorites from the Bahamian kitchen. Fox Hill Day turned out to be the perfect cultural night, giving a special spotlight on everything Bahamian. Now in its 31st year, the Fox Hill Festival continues to attract audiences locally as well as internationally. Reporting from the Fox Hill Park, Lloyd Allen, ZNS Network News.
Well, Vessels of Purpose Elite Girls Mentoring Group in East Grand Bahama highlighting some of their top achievers for the 2018-2019 academic year. Organizers say they hope to inspire other young ladies as they continue their focus on personal and professional development. Megan Shepard has the story.
The Vessels of Purpose Elite Mentoring Group aims to produce well-rounded ladies of society. The group focuses on young ladies in East Grand Bahama, but recently adopted the 8 Mile Rock High School to expand their program into the Western District. Media consultant Sherelle Lockhart says that this summer they chose to highlight a number of young ladies as a way to inspire others.
They are doing very well in the community. They're adhering to the principles taught in VOPE, and it also serves to encourage other members of VOPE as well as their peers to brush up a bit. Take that time to be focused and study and get better grades.
Malaysia Bain and Chardonnay Beau say they have enjoyed being a part of the program, and they believe it has helped them to grow as young ladies.
I like how we do fun activities, we go on field trips, and VOPE just shows me to help others, and it motivates me to do more in life.
I believe it's a very prestigious honor, especially how I had to work very hard to get this, how I've been working hard the whole school year, and I feel like it's a good thing to recognize people who are doing well for their academic achievements.
Siobhan Yabo is currently attending university abroad and says that founder, Brenda Mae Cooper, has been of great support to her during this time. She is encouraging other young ladies to enroll in the program in this upcoming school year.
Being a part of this program is very, very important and very essential. I wish that many young women would have been able to, be introduced to this program, because Miss Brenda Mae Cooper, she's a person who is down to earth, she's sincere, and she levels with you. She guides you along the way. She would always check in, see how you're doing. And I must say that on my educational journey, being away to school abroad, it has been very, 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 very touching for me, as she would check in, see how my grades were.
Kenisha Bo is a parent of one of the VOPE members, and she says that these types of programs are essential.
I've seen great improvement as far as maturity. She's become more outspoken. She's always quiet. Academically, she's always been at the top of her class. That hasn't changed. So I want to just encourage all parents to register their daughters to be a part of the great organization.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Well, one thing is key in the fashion show, and that's the music models strut to on the catwalk. And as Romelda Rose designer Jillian Curry Williams works to complete her ensemble for the New York Fashion Week, that's fast approaching, she's also ensuring the music she uses does not infringe on copyright. Here is a continuing series on the road to Fashion Week.
Romelda Rose designer Jillian Curry Williams is in full preparation mode as she works to complete the collection that will be worn by models during New York Fashion Week. However, in the midst of all that sewing, she has to work out the music aspect for the ladies to strut down the catwalk.
My husband, being the attorney that he is, didn't want me to use somebody else's music for copyright infringement and everything else. So I reached out to Mr. Hurston to produce something for me. Well, I think first I sent him the print, so he had an idea of what it was, how it looked. And then I told him I wanted a Junkanoo kind of vibe for that, and then I let him know that I was doing lace as well, but I wanted something a little bit more softer for the lace.
While he produces often, this was the first time he was doing so for a fashion show. So the aim was to produce something complementary to the fabric of hope.
She wanted more bohemian, to sound more bohemian, so I put some things together with some Junkanoo goatskin drums, some cowbells, even a little rake and scrape in that.
For the lace looks, he said he built a beat around an introduction she had previously used, but the decision to design her own music for the show, he considered very smart.
It was very wise of her to, I guess the husband being a lawyer, good advice, because you never know what could happen. You might get someone's music, because I've seen that happen before, even with myself. I've had that happen to me. Someone used some of my music for a commercial and I didn't even know. So just think about that being on a world scale, with a bunch of people there. Surely you have more of a chance of someone hearing something say, hey, that's my music, and she didn't ask to borrow it. So you get yourself in a bunch of trouble. Even though you're there to represent the country, you don't want to make the country look bad either. So, it's better to play it safe than sorry.
While they work to perfect the sound, she admits the constant outages have been a challenge.
I try to work the outages like a mother with a baby. You either sleep when the baby sleeps or you do some other things when the baby's sleeping. So when the lights are off, then if there are any other things I had to cut out, I do all my interfacings, I cut them out, or there's handwork to do, I do those while the light is out.
At this point, Curry Williams says she will now work to include an introduction to accompany her music, but nothing will stop her from showcasing at the New York and Harlem fashion shows.
Well, what's coming up in sports, Johnny?
Well, Jimmy, our men's national team gearing up for their first test in the Bahamas Basketball Federation's Summer of Thunder.
All right, well, sports is next. Stay close.
Welcome to sports, everybody. Yesterday, an off day for teams in the Bahamas Basketball Federation's Summer of Thunder Series, allowing visitors to enjoy the island. Our men's national team, however, working hard, getting a practice in at the Kendall Isaacs Gym in preparation for their series opener this afternoon at 5 against Texas Tech.
Coach DeMarco is putting a good scheme of offense and defensive sets, so we'll be ready. We'll be ready. I think definitely we're going to compete and definitely understand and play the game the right way. All these guys who play at a high level, whether it's college or overseas, I definitely feel like this team is ready to compete against top-notch Division I colleges, and we are short practices in terms of 2 days of practice preparing them, but we're ready, we're prepared, and these guys understand the game and they know how to play the game the right way, so we'll be ready to go. The game is the game. We just got to read and react, understand how the game is flowing, what the game throw at you, just respond as the game on the flow. But these guys understand how to play the game, and we're going to have fun, and these guys are going to execute, and we'll do well. We're going to make the Bahamas very proud.
The Bahamas Blue Marlin Sporting Club started staging its 11th annual Tropical Shootout last week here in the capital. Some of the best high school players from the United States going up against their counterparts from here in the 242. Both girls and boys were joined this morning by organizer Harrison Moxie. You guys really had a good response this year.
Yes, Jonathan, it was very, very good. It's probably the biggest tournament we have held over the past 9 years. We have over 250 guests coming into our shores, and so it's been very exciting. We're very glad for what took place.
But I guess you guys weren't too gracious hosts. You kept both titles right here at home.
Yes, it was a hard fight. You know, the tournament was very competitive. Some of the games were within 5 points for the most part. The Bahamas national girls were the champions on the girls' side, and the MVP for the tournament would have been Raymond Collins for the girls, and for the boys, Anatole Rogers were the winners, and we had Kevin Thompson taking the MVP in the senior boys section.
So I guess right now you guys go back to the drawing board for next year, and I understand you're adding volleyball and probably flag football as well.
Yeah, so we're looking to increase over the course of the months ahead, coming into the summer in July and August. And we could not have pulled this off without the assistance of the Bahamas Ministry of Tourism. So I want to say a big thank you to them and the sports team led by Elvis Clark. And we also had great support from Millie Dawkins and Leonardo Dean.
Right,
from start to finish, he's been there. So it was very good. Also the Bahamas. The Noting Association of the Bahamas and its president, Rebecca Johnson, and the Royal Bahamas Police Force, all came together to make our guests feel safe and secure here in our shores. And the results, was just very good.
And finally, I know you guys also travel abroad and stuff. You guys have anything coming up for the club?
Well, for the club, we look to recruit, and as things go, we had simultaneously going on this year a trip to Switzerland that we could not make. So we'll see how it goes next year, and special thanks to all of the teams that participated and all of the players and fans and parents that came out and support.
Well, it should be a good 12th annual one next year. We want to thank you for joining us here on the morning edition.
Thank you. And ZNS, you've been great.
All right,
thank you for your support.
And that is going to do it for Sports in the Morning edition. Stay tuned. We come back after the break.
In our final look at weather, the tropics quiet again this morning, but we still have that nagging troughing across the northwest and central Bahamas, which will fire up pockets of showers and thunderstorms again today, some of which will be heavy at times. And our forecast for today called for periods of clouds and sunshine, showers and thunderstorms in the area, high temperature getting up to 90 degrees. And tonight we're looking at partly cloudy conditions, showers and thunderstorms still lurking around, but they'll be more of an isolated nature during the nighttime. 79 degrees will be the low temperature. Your extended weather forecast over the next 7 days. A bit more showers in the forecast tomorrow, a little better on Friday, and better still as we head into the weekend, and the early part of next week looking good, but the rains will return by the middle of next week. Jimenita?
Thanks, Basil. And just like that, that's a wrap for us. Join us tomorrow at 7 a.m. for more Morning Edition. I'm Jimenita Swain. Have a great day, everyone.